If one person lit up the whole world with electricity, but at the end of his life, only a flock of pigeons remained to accompany him, what happened to him? On June 7, 1943, the remains of Nikola Tesla were discovered in room 3327 on the 33rd floor of a New York City hotel. He was already penniless and almost forgotten by the world, but few people knew that the old man who died alone had personally changed the course of human civilization. Alternating current, wireless communication, and long-distance power transmission. Tesla's ideas stand behind many world-changing technologies. He possessed a gift far ahead of his time and held more than 300 patents. So why did this genius die in poverty and loneliness? Today we will talk about the legendary life of Nikola Tesla, the genius underestimated by the world. On July 10, 1856, Tesla was born in the village of Smiljan in what is now Croatia. His birth coincided with a thunderstorm. Because of this, some people called him the son of darkness, but his mother always believed that her child would one day become someone who lit up the world. From the beginning, Tesla's fate seemed closely connected to light. However, when he was 5 years old, his most beloved brother fell from a horse and died in an accident. The tragedy became a wound that never fully healed. It also allowed loneliness to follow Tesla throughout his life. Tesla's father was a priest. His mother was skilled at making mechanical tools with remarkable practical ability and memory. Tesla inherited both qualities. In his youth, he loved learning, and his results were always among the best. His teachers were amazed by his intelligence. In the 1870s, Tesla went to Karlovac to study physics and mathematics. He spoke French and German and could perform complex calculations in his head. In only 3 years, he completed a 4-year course. Tesla dreamed of becoming an engineer. His father wanted him to inherit the priesthood but chose to respect his son's dream. Then Tesla contracted cholera. His father promised that if Tesla recovered, he would support his engineering studies. Tesla survived and officially began his own path. At 19, he entered the Austrian Institute of Technology to study electrical engineering. During a physics class, Tesla argued that DC motors had serious limitations and that alternating current was the future. His professor disagreed. The argument made Tesla determined to prove his theory. For 6 years, the idea occupied his mind so completely that he lost focus on his studies. His mental stress increased, and he eventually became dependent on drugs and was forced to drop out. During this period, he grew distant from his family. Some friends even believed he had died. Not long afterward, he lost his father as well. Cornered by grief, Tesla accepted a job as a draftsman, but his mind still revolved around electricity. One day, while walking in a park, he experienced a sudden insight, an alternating current motor based on a rotating magnetic field. Because of his remarkable memory, he kept the entire design in his head and believed he could make it real. His talent attracted the attention of his supervisor. In 1882, Tesla received a position with Edison's electrical distribution company in New York. With a letter of recommendation, he traveled alone to the United States. There, he met Thomas Edison, the inventor associated with the electric light bulb. But Edison relied on repeated experiments, while Tesla preferred mathematics, physical formulas, and theoretical design. Edison assigned Tesla the task of improving his direct current power generation system. He promised to pay Tesla $50,000 if the work was completed. Edison believed the task would take a long time, but Tesla solved it in only a few months, working from 10 in the morning until 5 the next morning. He almost lived in the office. However, when Tesla completed the assignment, Edison refused to pay. He claimed the promise had only been an American joke. The betrayal left Tesla disappointed and cold. He immediately quit the Edison company. This resignation officially began the War of the Currents. In 1885, Tesla decided to start his own power company, but once again, he was deceived. Two businessmen promised financial support if Tesla developed AC induction motors. He worked day and night, successfully developing an AC lighting system. When the project was finished, they abandoned him, did not pay him, and took his patent in 1886. Penniless, Tesla dug ditches for $2 a day. Just when his life reached its lowest point, Western Union director Alfred and lawyer Charles Peck recognized his ability. They provided financial support and helped manage his patent affairs. Together, the three men founded the Tesla Electric Company. From then on, Tesla fully developed his induction motor. In 1888, he revealed his alternating current motor design. People realized that electricity could do more than light a bulb. It could power machines and transmit energy over long distances. The invention shocked the world. George Westinghouse was convinced by the future of AC and purchased Tesla's patent. Just as Tesla's career was reaching its peak, Edison began a massive campaign against AC. Driven by commercial rivalry, Edison organized public demonstrations intended to make people fear AC. He used an electric chair, claimed prisoners were killed by AC, and involved animals in frightening experiments. At first, many people believed him. But over time, the public recognized that AC was the future. Tesla won the electric war. He then used Niagara Falls to help build a large AC power system. When many people still relied on kerosene lamps, this achievement made Tesla a leader in modern power transmission. But the trouble did not end there. Later, the Westinghouse company accumulated millions of dollars in debt. Its financial chain was close to breaking. To save the company, Westinghouse asked Tesla to reduce his share of the patent royalties. Tesla understood that the company had supported him when no one else would. Without hesitation, he tore up the contract and gave up royalties worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Whatever he earned, he devoted to invention. That decision later contributed to his poverty and loneliness. Even while living with little money, Tesla continued to create. He held more than 300 patents, and his name remained in the spotlight. He developed early neon signs, the Tesla turbine, and a bladeless vehicle turbine. Through radiation experiments, he became a pioneer in X-ray technology. One early X-ray image showed his own hand. Tesla also created one of the world's first remote controls. In 1898, at Madison Square Garden, he operated a small remote-controlled boat. The audience was astonished, and some believed he was using magic. The invention became a prototype of remote-controlled machines and drones. Another of his best-known inventions was the Tesla coil. The device could generate extremely high-voltage electricity. Tesla discovered that, at the same resonant frequency, it could send and receive powerful radio signals. He was preparing an early radio transmission when disaster struck. In 1895, a fire completely destroyed his laboratory. Years of research and equipment were reduced to ashes. 2 years later, Tesla filed a patent application for radio technology. The fire became a major turning point, and years of work seemed wasted. Later, Marconi used 17 of Tesla's patents and transmitted the first wireless telegraph signal. In 1904, the United States Patent Office granted radio rights to Marconi. Tesla filed a lawsuit, but it was not resolved in his favor until after his death. His ideas were far ahead of his time. He continued working on wireless communication and began building a wireless transmission station outside New York. He imagined a future in which people could freely send and receive messages across unlimited distances. But after the fire, he lost financial support, and the dream was abandoned. From then on, Tesla lived in hotel rooms until the end of his life. Westinghouse later hired him as a consultant and paid for his accommodation. That support helped him avoid rent, but could not remove his loneliness. Throughout his life, Tesla possessed unparalleled talent, yet faced obstacles at every stage. His poverty and isolation also came from a choice he made himself. Tesla never truly pursued commercial interests. Compared with wealth and fame, he valued human progress and scientific development. He gave his life entirely to invention. Perhaps that is why later generations only understood his wisdom after he was gone. Nikola Tesla died almost alone, with little money beside him. But the world was brighter because of his ideas. The man forgotten in a hotel room had helped power modern civilization. The greatest tragedy was that the world used his inventions long before it understood the man behind them.